Hello, 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 and welcome to Survivor Debrief. My name's Eden Porter, the unlucky loser from Survivor Titans vs Rebels, and with me, as always, is my comedic partner, real-life brother, Joshua Potter. How are you going, Josh?
I'm good. We're getting down to it. Love a final five, because the thing I love about this part of the game is the focus completely switches to sitting at the end to try and win.
Yeah, you should.
And I know they've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah.
I know they have been, but like it's so much clearer now. And as well, from a viewer perspective, the options are much easier to comprehend. Like you're not running too many scenarios. You're like, no, we're down to five. Like you seeing how the pairs go, who might take who wins who. So I really like this point of the game because it's very, very clear who's still in the game and very, very clear the pathways that they all have.
Yeah, so obviously there's been a lot of talk about this Pav, Cirie, Luke, Janine sort of relationship.
A lot of talk.
So let's just figure out, so when did they lock in? So they didn't vote on the Kirby vote because Luke and Shonny voted differently, but Janine was in on that.
Yes.
And then after that, it was the Cass Tommy sort of cluster.
Yeah, I think it was that and then I think it got to that point where Cass and Tommy were gone and they were probably like, this is a solid pathway now.
Because it feels like they really locked in. Like they locked in. I think Janine was planting seeds a bit longer. Like I think she was working Cirie for the Kirby vote, and she was doing a lot of the groundwork to keep Luke, to the point of, if you remember at the Spa Reward, Cirie was trying to get people not saying Luke as well because of that relationship back then. So it's just this relationship. I think it's one of those ones where the majority of people in it think they can beat each other.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see because I feel like that's ideally what you want, that it's no one's delusional. You know what I mean? Like I feel like everyone is really can speak to the game they've played. But I reckon it maybe speaks to, well, we're a good solid four here. And let's just go with each other, a bunch of four strong players. The people on the other side, they're not going to be able to band together to get rid of us, so we need each other here. And it felt like they realised that, like, we need to take each other because these other people might knock us out if we're not strong.
Because I'm assuming, like, in this situation with Luke and Janine and Pav and Cirie, I'm assuming what they've talked about is come to the final four, they both vote for each other, it goes to fire, Luke gets put into fire, and Luke ends up taking on Pav, maybe, in fire, beating her, and then him and Janine and Cirie going to the end, and then he probably beats Cirie and Janine. That's what his plan is.
I think so. We'll get to that full analysis.
Yeah. Let's. We're jumping the gun here. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just go back a minute. And just at the start of this episode, there was a few things. Ramifications from Lisa leaving, there wasn't any. There wasn't.
No, you're absolutely right.
It was just like,
it was nothing.
Yep,
it was BAU. It was like, moving on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to just say something about those four wanting to go to the end together, because they did talk about at the start point. I don't think it's good going to the final four with a 2-2. I just don't think it's good. I don't think it's good maths.
For who?
For anyone. I think you don't want it to go to fire unless you're super good at fire. That's the only person that wanted to do that.
But if you, based on who's left, who that swing vote is, if they're more likely to swing against you, like the spares leftovers, you don't want them, right?
No, but I think you try and use the spare. You use the Shonny vote in that situation.
So rather than putting your trust in the fire, you want to be like, no, let's cultivate some relationships with some people and bring them through.
Well, I just want to ask you this as well. So does Cirie and Pav are just fine taking each other and then being like, it doesn't matter, one of us is going to win? Because I'm wondering, like, does Cirie think she beats Pav at this point?
I don't know. It feels like they're pretty locked in. Because one of the big questions I had, question for Eden, is when you're in a tight pair like this and you feel you need to cut them, how late can you go before cutting them?
Well, you've got to. It's the old thing. You get them, the tribal council, before you think you need to get them.
But if you're taking people this late into the game, can you cut your number one at this point, or does that come off badly?
If your number one is going to beat you, then yes, you have to cut them. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, if you can't beat that person, why is Ray wanting to go to the end with Ferris? Like, why? You're not beating like
because he likes Ferris.
Yeah, but you're not beating him.
He wants Ferris to win.
But you could beat Caro. Like, there's a chance that you could beat Caro.
Agreed.
So I don't know what part of your brain gets overridden going like, no. If I don't win, Ferris can win. I might have a chance against Ferris if I can talk. It's like...
Well, maybe part of it's like, I'd rather get to the end than not. And that's the motivator.
Yeah.
But at this level, I don't feel that's what we're dealing with here. I feel we're dealing with really experienced players. But I do get this sense that maybe they're like, no, my pitch is going to be good. I know what I've done. Because I feel like when we're sort of piecing through these resumes of people, it feels like, I don't know, compared to a normal season, it feels like there's everything been happening all the time. It hasn't really felt dominated by any one person in particular.
No.
So I feel like everyone's done heaps of really good stuff, a lot of it understated. So I'll be really interested to see what the pitches are.
Yeah, I think it's... Like, you say that there's no one that just wants to go, but I would argue that Shani is just saying... I'll just get to the end. I just want to get to the end. Like, I don't think she thinks... Does she think she beats anyone?
I don't know. Based on what she did, it doesn't feel like you could mount much of an argument.
The only thing I could think that she thinks that if you get enough Australians on the jury, that there's like this legacy win for Shani. Like, you've played so many times. You're this icon. You never won. You know what?
It's like getting an Oscar or something.
It's the lifetime
Leo getting
achievement.
an Oscar.
It's the lifetime achievement award Oscar. You never got one. But it could be that. It could be. Well, let's not give it to Parv. She's already won. She's an American. Shani could, but then again, what can Shani point to say I did that? Like,
I guess
nothing.
it's the 5-5, like the Sarah vote, right? They all came together for that.
Remember that? That was the dream. That was the Shani, Kirby, Parv, and Sari, and we had it for one episode.
Yeah,
and that was meant to be setting up the whole thing. Janine, can I just point to Janine has been impressing me, like more and more.
Heaps, same.
Like, I was off the Boost Juice wagon for most of the season, and now I'm coming aboard because. Yeah. I don't think she's going to win.
Because now you know how many businesses she owns and her wardrobe. You know about that, what she wears to her meetings.
Betty's Burgers as well? Did you know that?
Good on you, Janine.
Good on you, Janine.
Give us a voucher.
Yeah. I liked Shani trying, like, to plant some seeds, some anti-Janine seeds and all that sort of stuff.
Do you think things like that, are they ever effective, even if they're on the nose? Are you at least raising stuff that they hadn't considered?
Oh, yeah. I think it's still very effective. You can, especially if you don't know, people like Parv that don't know who Janine is. And if you go, oh, you know, by the way, like she does this for a living. Same with someone's a lawyer, maybe. You know, they talk at court, and that would get in your head, and you would go, you know what?
Yep.
Maybe they would be really good. Maybe I haven't always thought. So I think that stuff can always work, like always work. But Janine has been, the thing about her is she talks through with people just very logically and very calmly and just has a conversation, and it comes across very mannered. And it's actually been working really well in this particular group of people.
I also think no one's ever felt threatened by Janine. I feel they've always viewed her as very trustworthy, her information really solid, very similar in Sari in a way. You know, people keep coming.
They seem very similar, yeah.
You're coming to, like, you feel very comfortable talking to Janine. No one really worried that Janine's necessarily lying to them. It seems that way. So, yeah, very, very understated and very interesting, but very much part of all this stuff.
And I think maybe Janine thinks, in terms of Luke, her and Luke going together, she can actually point to some conversations that she was involved in that Luke wasn't.
Well, that was And
so
I was going to say
really,
really key to have. I wasn't just hitching my wagon to Luke. I went away from him for a vote, got something done, and then came back together. And Luke wasn't involved in that. And that is very rare, I think, when you ditch your closest ally and then come back to them. And because that is something that really does separate you, that doesn't just look like, coattails, that kind of stuff.
That's actually what I was thinking when we got rid of, like, in that vote where I pulled the trigger on Viola with Mark. I was like, I'm going to do this now, and it's going to weaken Mark. And then for the rest of the game, I felt like I just had a little something over him if it got to the end. A little thing of like, you know what, I was just that little bit ahead of you. I pulled the trigger first and that sort of stuff, which I thought was interesting. So if you get something like, I think Janine would point to the Kirby vote and be like, mate, you had no idea what's going on. I made that relationship. I did this. That's why I'm going to beat you. And that's why it's good. It's interesting.
Now, can we move on to my favorite part of the episode?
What's that, mate?
The monkey fist.
I'm so glad you
love a
brought
monkey
up
fist.
Monkey fist. Now,
love a monkey fist.
fisting is my jam, Josh. I'm just going to say it right there.
JLP over here.
Yeah, loving it. So in the car challenge for us, that was the one time I got
What's the car challenge? To win the car, yeah.
To win the car. That was the one time I got to show off my monkey fist abilities.
Great.
And there was all 6 of us were throwing at once, and I hit my targets 1, 2, 3, hit them all, and got through quicker than anyone else.
Boom. Love a monkey fist.
And then ultimately my team didn't finish, and so I didn't
Carrie
go
let
into
you
the
down.
last
Carrie
round.
let you down. Say it.
I'll
say it for you.
But no. But in saying that, everyone was like, "Oh wow, Eden's really good with that monkey fist," and I love a monkey fist. You get the range.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
good challenge.
I like this stage. I found it interesting as well. I do love the final part of this, the step over high knee thing. I always like that one.
Yes.
What I found really interesting is that Shani was doing like a sideways technique on her bricks. Did you notice that?
What do you mean?
So her fork, instead of holding it the V shape in front and it naturally came, she was coming in from the side. So her fork was like resting on the logo on the front of the thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it was just like, I don't know if they designed it that way on purpose or it just so happened the fork was that exact width. But it was really interesting that I noticed that, she's going from the side.
Yeah, but the wind was the real...
Oh, yeah, I hate that. Like,
man.
Because you had some challenges with you that it stuff up, didn't you? Or?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you're just standing there and the wind blows and you're like, I've done everything right and the wind has just blown stuff away. Like,
can you mitigate that in any way or not really? You
well,
just cop it.
It actually is interesting because it can come down to your, like, will draw for places. Like, if you just draw and you're on the windy side, then you don't have anyone wind blocking you. And if you're in the middle... You're like, oh, this is better. I've got a wind box. Same with any water challenges, like Last Gasp. If you're on the ends, you get the waves hitting you first. So
yeah, right.
There's definitely a part of that. Did you notice JLP with the nice little the cool hand Luke reference to Luke? He's like,
I missed
cool hands for Luke. I'm like, well done. Movie quote there, JLP. Very good. Very good.
Speaking of Luke, so winning this gave him a hat trick, and I think that has been a very understated part of this game. That I don't know, the individual immunities, they felt less weighted in some ways. I don't know, because you haven't really felt that like, oh my God, that person got it and they totally saved themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel we've really had those kind of moments so much.
The person that really needed it has never won it this season. That just hasn't been part of the story.
No, and so to have Luke win 3 in a row is like, oh yeah, that's a big part of this game as well. Like, what a great thing to put on your resume of like, and I did this, you know?
I think what's also interesting is this is what happens when you just sort of leave one really strong challenge person in the game. Like, I think with Cass and Tommy out, the door was wide open for Luke to win a whole bunch.
I've been surprised with Parvati's start in the solos, the individuals. She's dropped off a lot. Like, she was really strong in those first couple with Cass. And maybe it's more of the style.
The Simotion ball dropping one, she was second to Luke.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
She did good in that. And then, maybe this one just wasn't her challenge.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like when you see someone who's like good at a couple, you're like, well, they'll be good at everything.
Yeah, well, exactly.
They must be good at everything then.
And Shani nearly won this one as well, which would have really thrown the proverbial cat amongst the pigeons.
Yes.
But yeah, obviously Luke wins. He gets through. And it's... this is interesting. I was hoping that someone with an idol would win because that's going to always lead to
them doing something more interesting.
Yeah, doing something a bit more interesting.
What did you
actually? Can I just before we get into something? There was just one weird edit choice that I wanted to bring up. Was the weird conversation between Parv and Sari where they talked about Micronesia and how it was a final 2 instead of a final 3. And so Sari dropped out. And so Parv really wants to be at the end with Sari. And they showed little bits of Micronesia. Shout out to Micronesia. But is that foreshadowing? Is that...
I think that's maybe catching some people up to speed to go, if these two get to the end, or if these two get to the end, there's a history here that sort of explains maybe why they may take each other to the end. That maybe that's something's going to happen, and that's why they're comfortable with it. So I think it's just backstory for the audience that if they get through this is the sort of history to build up that story a bit, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So what were you going to say before, mate?
I found it interesting, like a big focal point of this, because Sari was so worried, was this: why would Luke tell Parvati and not tell Janine?
Yeah, let's just get to this conversation.
We also had that great moment of Janine going, "Luke's not a very good liar."
yeah.
I would know. Yeah. I would know.
But then we saw an example of that when Parv bailed up Luke to be like, about your idol. He goes, "No, I made up an idol." He couldn't look her in the eye. He was looking away from her the whole time.
I did notice that.
And he was just like, "Man, I'd never even had an idol, man. I was just saying that to just get one over on you, mate." And then Parv was like, yeah, he was. And if you think back to the way he was acting with Parvati about that thing, about that knowledge is power, you could see the desperate, that they're like, "Hey, man, let's do something. Let's rip it up. It was not him pretending."
Do you think that's a bit of retroactive from him being like, I was bluffing her, rather than like
100%.
Yeah.
100% like retroactively.
Because that would have been cool if like that was his plan. To tell the audience would have been amazing for that. To be like, check this out.
Yeah.
I'm going to bluff this and she's going to tear up her or you know, that's my plan.
The other thing that's weird is that at no point does Parv actually pull the trigger and tell Janine and say he does have an idol, he's been lying to you.
Yeah, and that's interesting because if you're it just speaks to what's Parvati and Sari's pathway, because they seem to be talking to Janine to be like, we want to go to the end with you.
Yes.
So unless they're at this moment, they're like, well, we don't want to stir the nest up too much. Let's just keep things going the way they are, and we know Janine's with us. And then maybe you could drop that at the final four to be like, by the way, Luke told me. But I don't know if she believes that then at that point, right?
Yeah, I just think... Yeah, maybe Parv's keeping it in her back pocket as the killer blow in the final four to really make Janine jump ship and go, you know what? Luke's been playing you the whole time.
Yeah.
He's had a secret idol. Do you really want to go to fire and get him into the game because he probably beats you? I think it's setting it up for Janine to turn on Luke. It's setting it up. I think.
I could see it.
I can think.
Do you think, obviously, Sari's fears were warranted, but if you're in Sari's boots and you're going, why the hell wouldn't he tell his number one?
Yeah.
What would you, what does that get your mind doing if someone's keeping information like that from their number one?
Well, what do you
think's going on?
The thing that's weird is that, they talk about, maybe Luke wants to keep it as a big reveal and no one knew about it. And then Sari's like, yeah, but you know about it. But so that's not a big reveal. He told you.
Yes.
Which is weird. And in his own world, it was like the knowledge is power thing was freaking him out and he thought he could do something cool with it and it didn't really work out. And now one person knows about it. And now Sari knows about it as well. And I think they're confusing a misplay with a 4D chess. I think they're thinking that he's actually manipulating this whole thing and doing this all for a reason where really it was a bit of a misplay from him, that he shouldn't have done that with Parv.
Yeah, I still don't quite understand why you wouldn't tell Janine and you go and tell Parv. I just couldn't. I don't know why wouldn't bring Janine in on that plan.
Yeah.
Unless he's secretly a little bit worried about Janine. But it's they've been pretty rock solid since start. Since that first vote, they were like, we've got to stick together, so...
Well, as soon as he won the challenge, when she came up to him and said, hey, idol, do you have one? That's the point where you go, you know what, I actually do. I've won this. I'm using this on you. You and me going to the end.
Yeah.
Isn't that more of a lock-in?
At that moment, that's what I would have thought. I was surprised that he's keeping it until that point, unless you're purely going to use it as a surprise that doesn't benefit Janine. That's the thing. He still used it in a way to benefit Janine. Yeah. So it's I don't know why you wouldn't let her in on that.
I liked we'll get to Tribal Council in a second, but I did like how he did play that at Tribal Council. But just before we get there, Janine has another good conversation with Shani where she lets Shani sort of pitch things and talk to her. But ultimately, Shani still has the wherewithal to go, you know what, my best bet is actually to paint Janine as a target because she's the only one that's now can be voted out besides myself or Sari, and the girls aren't going to jump on that.
No.
I think Sari was definitely second guessing losing Lisa at this moment. I think she was
probably
going, you know what? This would have been a hell of a lot easier if Lisa was still here. Because we wouldn't have to worry about that.
Did you like Shonny's read on Luke didn't celebrate that hard when he won immunity? He's probably got an idol. Do you think you can tell that kind of stuff?
Maybe. Like I think I just think Luke didn't feel like he was in super trouble. Like I feel like I feel like if you know you're going home and you win that immunity, like I guarantee you,
if you're Mike Holloway, you are loving winning.
Great Mike Holloway reference there. You are going nuts. If Shonny wins this, Shonny goes nuts. She goes, you know what? I feel like I really needed this tonight. One thing I will say about Shonny is, she's at least going out fighting. She's going, you know what? My pitch is Pav and Sari. Let's get Janine out of here. Let's do this. Let's get, like, Sari. This could blow back in your face.
Yep.
Like, she's really going out fighting. Do you know, you probably don't, but Shonny has her own music that, that's Shonny's music. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So they created it for her. There's very few people in the entire series of the show that have their own. There's Shan from, like, 41, and that's nearly it. That have their own little stings, like little things.
One interesting comment I heard that was quote from Shonny was, "I don't have a solid pair, and it's for this moment."
Yeah.
So she's making out like, no, I didn't want to hoot that because then I wanted to be the swing vote in the middle that either pair would take. Which
usually works, man.
Yeah, because they're terrified of letting the other pair get all the way through, unless they think each pair cannibalize their own votes.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe Luke and Janine or Serene Parvati, when it comes to the jury, they're probably going to get the same vote. So I may as well let those votes fight out between them rather than stacking on one of them. Maybe that's the part of the thinking.
Yeah, look, could definitely be so. Actually, the other little... this just annoyed me. This is just a bugbear of mine. I just didn't... At one point, Shonny said, if you evict me, then that's going to leave this. And I'm like, Shonny, we're not playing Big Brother, buddy. People don't get evicted on the island. It's just a bugbear. It's just just don't say it. Just don't say it. Just never say it. It just really bugs me. Make a note. Pav could... The thing with Pav and her idol right now is everyone knows about it. But I think in a crazy game, no one is thinking that she isn't playing that for herself at this point, which actually is more incentive to play it for Sari.
Oh, because she's like...
Because in your head, you're like, nobody would
risk at this late stage.
At this point of the game. So no one is voting for me. No one is voting for... This is the last time you can play it. And I actually think you could have played it on Sari fine.
Yeah, I think maybe. And I think it... Because, I reckon you're right. Because I think you would just know... There's no way they're risking it. There's no way... But if that is your pathway through... And that's what I found really interesting. And we saw... A lot of this episode I found really interesting. And I feel like a lot of the last one as well, we really saw it through Luke's eyes. And so much of it was really his perspective and his dilemmas and his choices. Much more than... I feel like a lot earlier, we're seeing way more Parvati, like through her eyes and that kind of thing.
That's a really good pickup, man.
Very much more Luke-centric.
Yeah.
And I think... what I really love, and I was talking about at the start of the episode, like he's going, what is my path to the 3? Like, who do I have? Who can I take? And we'll get to when we get to tribal, but like I find that a really interesting question. With this few people left, threading that needle of who wants to take you and who you can beat, I guess, in the final, as in terms of the final challenge as well. Like, how much are you weighing that? How much are you weighing up?
Yeah,
I definitely want to, I can just win my way in. Versus, maybe I get that person. It might be close.
Which is crazy that Shonny and stuff were okay getting rid of Lisa. Like that in the end, that just seems like a nothing vote because Lisa was probably someone that you could definitely beat at challenges and that Shonny could probably beat in the final 3 as well. It just seemed weird that they all agreed like, yep, let's just get rid of her. That's fine.
Yeah. Agree. Unless they're all using each other as shields, we've got to keep everyone as long as possible.
And that's what it has. That's what it has come down to, which is awesome.
Yeah, I feel like it.
Now, Luke, coming into Tribal Council, Luke is obviously thinking, should I save Shonny? Like, what should I do? I actually think his best play is to save Shonny
and get rid of Sari.
Get rid of Sari, and then go forward with like Shonny and Janine, and because no one wants to go up against Parvati.
I can't imagine people wanting to go up against her in the final.
Yeah.
I feel if you had the chance, you would probably take her out,
and
unless you're Serene.
I think Luke is probably... I just think getting to the end, I think all of that group no one wants to go to the end with Pav.
Yep.
And the only risk there is that Pav can sweet talk the girls into like, no, let's just do a girl final 3.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only thing that's really... But I just think Luke gives himself the best chance to win by keeping Shani in the game, getting rid of Sari. I think that is the best play.
Well, unless he's really just thinking, like, going, as he mentioned to Janine, like going to fire.
Well, that's what their agreement is. That honestly,
I'm going to win my way through.
That's like you and Janine, you and me are locked. So if we get through to 4, we definitely go to fire, and I'll go into fire. I'll go fire.
My big question to you: we saw Luke do the big handover of his immunity necklace to Janine. At this level and this part of the game, do you think acts like that actually have any weight to them?
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's what I thought. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I don't think you can build enough trust to someone at this point in the game. It's like, no, you've proved you're with me enough, but like, everyone's here to win, man. Like, look, I don't think...
Honestly, with this level of play, it actually is more of a badass move for Janine to screw over Luke after that and then go, see, I'm cutthroat, mate. Like, he did that to me, and I'm here to win, and and I actually think in the eyes of the jury, people would be like, that is badass. That is badass. I actually think you're giving them an ability to even make more of it, more of a spectacle of doing it. But what I will say is I really liked Luke doing it that way by giving up his immunity and still having his idol, because that then if Pav and Sari were getting cold feet and did end up linking in with Shani and did voting for and were voting for Janine at that point, because Janine is now no longer being able to vote, you think there would have had to have been a discussion between them at a live tribal council, and then you would have flagged. Whereas if you just used an idol on her, you don't know if there's anything happening. Whereas putting the immunity necklace on her... You
see if the plans are changed now.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
so
right.
I actually really like
great.
that. I actually really like that. Yeah.
You're openly showing them, like, was this your plan? Because you
now
need
you
to
can't
change it
do
now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. There's no real goats. Someone said a thing about you want to get rid of people with similar games to you. So it's okay to go to the final with different people if you've got really different types of games. And I think that's really interesting. Pitch. And then the jury in a pitch will decide on which one they respect more. So it's less about bringing people that are goats and more about, you know what, like we were both challenged beasts. And so we're going to sort of split the vote, but this person did. And I think that's really interesting. And I think all 4 of these people are sort of different enough now in their games.
Yeah. And I think I'm so curious to see what the pitches will be, because for the first time in like a really, really long time that I can think of, I feel like they've all got legitimate cases. Like, I don't feel anyone is like super far ahead. I feel like Parvati's cooled down a lot and has kind of coasted once that idol became out, because everyone's like, well, I don't want to, lose out on getting Pav because she's got the idol. So I feel like that at that moment it was revealed, it felt like she was completely off the table entirely for the rest of the season. So it's like,
correct.
So she didn't kind of have to do as much, and other people have picked up and done a bit more. So yeah, I'd be really keen to see how the pitches go.
Well, I'm thinking even Sari, I'm trying to break down, well, what is Sari's pitch? But I think she's got the Kirby move. She's got the, and that's one up on Pav, that she can say, no, Pav, you were all in on Kirby. And I decided that I wanted to break that up, and I did it.
Yeah. And let's talk about Luke's vote at the end. It seemed like he was really mulling it over still.
Yep.
Because I think for him, that choice, like, he has something to do. He has the idol to play. Do I mix it up? Do I keep Shani? Do I keep Sari, kind of thing? How common is that someone really hasn't made up their mind?
Oh, it's very uncommon. Like,
what does that speak to? Does that speak to new information's come up at Tribal, or does it speak to it's genuinely that 50-50 and there are pros and cons and I've thought of them all and it's still really
nothing
close?
Has locked in, nothing has been said that's gone, oh, okay, now I feel confident about this.
Yeah,
it's still the same information that you had before, going like, I actually don't know what is best for my game right now.
Because the sense I really do get between like Sari, Parvati, Janine, none of them seem worried about who's going to take me.
Yeah.
Like, they all feel very comfortable that like, I will be there. And Luke, it seems, is the one that's like, I don't think people are going to take me. I don't think people want to take me. How am I gonna navigate it? And maybe that's why it was more through his lens of like, the others feel pretty comfortable that we're going to take each other. So how does Luke guarantee his spot?
Yeah, and I think Luke is Luke is the one that people now is coming in hot. I think Luke's coming in hot into Final Trouble Council, whereas you're right. I think Parv's cooled off a little bit. I think Janine's been doing it enough in the background, and Sari's got one or two things that she can really point to. But Luke is the one with the momentum, I guess.
I think so. Yeah. Now, do you think? Let's talk about the playing of the idols.
Yes,
so,
I wanted to bring that up as well. So you've got two
Luke and
immunity
Parv.
idols. Yeah, go.
No, I was going to say, so Luke and Parv both get up.
Yeah.
Do you think either of them might have changed? Because to me, it's like, you just make your decision and you play it. But like, it's such a 50-50 that you think, well, I definitely just want to make sure what I think is going to happen is going to happen. And that's on both of them.
Yeah,
they didn't want to open it up to a 50-50.
So if Luke turns around and goes, I'm putting this on Shonny, then I think Parv then plays it on Sari.
Do you reckon that's what goes down?
I actually think that's
and
what
so then
happens.
what happens then? You go...
But then Luke doesn't play it on Luke doesn't play it on Shonny. Luke just plays it on himself, and then Parv just plays it on herself. Yeah, it's one of those things of how do you know who goes first? Like, at what point... Like, do you have to draw rocks?
Well,
and,
is that
a solution?
Is there particular rules around that or not?
Well, no. Like, I don't actually... There's nothing about order of idol usage, because ultimately you have to play it. You choose when to play your idol.
Well, what'd be really interesting is if Jonathan ends up being like, well, I'm giving you 5 seconds, and if you don't say anything, you can't play it. Sit down. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of like... do it or don't. Like,
that's it. You can't just wait around. You can't just single-handedly wait around the whole time.
It's an interesting dilemma that I've not really seen before, this idea of some sort of simultaneously playing where both people know what's happening. And they kind of did it, but they didn't quite do it. Well, but it was such an interesting moment of trust.
Yeah, so what usually ends up happening is someone has an idol that people don't know about, and they wait, and then if someone plays it on someone, then they go, okay, now I'm going to play mine. But the fact that everyone knew what was happening, it made it really weird. It made me really weird. Yeah, it was an interesting end. And look, there goes Shonny. Shonny off into the night, officially retired.
I think so.
Yeah, like I don't think she really wanted to come back for this one anyway. So I think she's perfectly fine going home, being a mum, living the dream. And then, oh, mate, her last words.
Oh. Cutting. I don't know why that... Yeah, very surprising that made it in.
Oh, that like a dagger to the heart. JLP, I'm coming for your job. No, you're not. David is coming for your job. And David has acquired said job, Shonny. That was wild.
Shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Who's spun and grun, Josh?
Let's have a think. If I play this. No. Doesn't like it.
No.
Spinning ring.
There we go. We'll get it right. We'll get right by the end of the season.
We'll get it right. I feel like it's got to be Luke.
It's got to be Luke.
It was so much on him. He won immunity.
Yeah.
I think Luke.
But if it blows up next episode, can we retroactively take this off him?
Yeah. We'll spin him back.
Should we spin it? Keep rotating. Keep rotating. Okay, we'll give it to Luke. I think Luke dominated. And then who ruffled feathers, Josh?
It was to Russell Feathers.
Sorry,
Ruffle Feathers.
Russell.
I think you could give it to Shonny for trying, I guess. Like, she definitely was in there trying to get in people's ears, trying to ruffle a few feathers. What do you reckon?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot. Like, Sari started to get a bit paranoid. But yeah, maybe leave it to Shonny. She tried, I guess. She tried to feathers.
But I feel at this stage it felt so calm. Or maybe maybe a little bit of...
You said Russell Feathers.
For Luke with the handing over the necklace.
Oh, yeah. Maybe Luke and Shonny can then share one each.
I think that ruffled a few feathers handing that over.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Otherwise, this season is coming to an end. It's been so awesome so far. Should we just quickly do our final three and our winner? What do you reckon?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I feel like Luke's going to win.
You do it first, Josh. You do it first, please.
We'll say it at the same time. I think Luke's going to win immunity, I think.
Okay.
I think he's going to win his way into the final three.
Yep.
And then I think they might get rid of Pav.
Yeah, I feel like I've got a feeling Sari might win.
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe Pav goes and Sari maybe wins.
So I'm going to go Luke, Janine, Sari for my final three and Luke winning. And what are you going with?
I'm going Sari. Yeah, I think Pav's gone. So I'm going Janine, Sari, and Luke, and I think Sari wins.
Could be hot. We'll see how
I don't know.
fare.
Yeah, I don't know. Can Sari beat Pav in the end?
Maybe. People really like Sari.
Oh, my
right? She's
God.
got
You know what I
Lisa's
remembered?
vote.
Lisa's going to stand up and go and do the full Sari has to win. Everyone has to vote for Sari.
Rah.
So
Yeah.
that could play into it. But yeah, look, we'll see how we go. So this could be a blunder for Luke if this doesn't turn out. Like if Janine blows up his game and it's Janine, Sari, and Pav at the end.
Yeah, that'd be. I think either way, these final four, I think it's going to be a really interesting final three. And I don't necessarily think that this last vote is going to change people's minds. I think it's all to be down to the pitch, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I love a good pitch. I love a good pitch, mate. It's where the power shifts, Josh.
It does.
Did you know that?
Well, we'll see you for our big finale.
Yeah, big finale, guys. And
next
please
week.
Sign up, like and subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Lots happening on YouTube. I'd love to just keep hitting those milestones with subscribers. So tell your friends, more subscribers, the better. We'll make some more content, and we'll keep it going until the next season. Yeah.
And we'll see you at the big finale.
See you. One more.